Can we talk about how Komori's quirk is scary? Like, what she did to Tokoyami is terrifying. Like, imagine if she was a villain. Just hypothetically. What if she was a villain? Because what she just demonstrated in this chapter goes back to what Shigaraki has said since the very beginning when he got a motive. Quirks are pretty much like a gun. They are very dangerous. At any moment, a quirk can easily harm someone. That's what Shigaraki has said. You don't really think too much about it, but quirks can easily just end a lot of people. And Komori's quirk, what she did to Tokoyami, is scary because that is something, honestly, there's not really much you can do against a counter. See, she legit filled Tokoyami's throat and probably his lungs with mushrooms, a fungus, which is life-threatening in a way. That's very life-threatening. Even what just happened in this chapter to Tokoyami, pretty much rendering him unconscious to where he can't move, that's life-threatening. Just going without air for, like, let's say 30 seconds to a minute could sometimes really be lethal depending on the individual. And so just seeing something like that, I'm like, whoa. Like, straight up, what she just did is something that would be very scary for a villain. And it has me wondering, is Tokoyami gonna be okay? Because what she just did in this chapter is not something that is just, like, punching someone and then knocking them out from punching. That's bad in of itself. But what she just did to Tokoyami could have irreversible damage to his brain if, he doesn't get air flow. And from what was stated in the last chapter is that it takes 2 to 3 hours for the fungus or mushrooms to disappear. So unless she could willingly get rid of a mushroom instantly, like just make them despawn, Tokoyami's life is actually in danger right now. Like, legit in danger. So my point is that what she just did is something that's OP. She can legit end fights pretty quickly, unless it's someone that's like a sludge monster. Overhaul would have some issues. I mean, yes, we know he can deconstruct himself, rip him apart like we saw at the end of that arc, but Overhaul himself would also have issues against someone like that. Now, we do know that she releases spores, and I'm assuming the closer you get to her, the worse it gets. And I'm assuming that's why Tokoyami was hurt so bad. But it also seems like she can activate at any point she wants. It is stated that she didn't want to use that move, but she held it reserve and she finally was forced to use it. And that's what she actually did. She used it against Tokoyami. So it does seem like she does have control on where the mushrooms spawn, or at the very least having them spawn inside with someone's throat or lungs. But even then, though, it's still a very dangerous ability, and that is not something she should use just willy-nilly. That's devastating. Now, if it's an ability that she really can't control and it just happens, that's even scarier. In this chapter, there is a few things that does happen that will make a lot of people upset. I've seen a lot of complaining today in the My Hero Academia community. I've seen many basically saying they're really upset that Momo just got wrecked like she did. Class A got wrecked, and it was a 4-0. I feel like the people complaining are not looking at this objectively and seeing it from both sides. See, we cannot just have a clean, sweep with Class A just going in and demolishing all of Class B. That's not good storytelling, and it's definitely not what this arc is trying to do. It's trying to give proper characterization to characters that have not been in the spotlight that often. And so, obviously, Class B does need to win some matches. Common sense. And out of all the matches, this seems like that one of those matches to where Class B was obviously going to win from the get-go. It just seemed like that. I've been talking about it ever since this match began. You can go back and look at my videos and, check me, and you'll know I've been talking about it. But even though people are upset because Class B won and Class A lost, and there's a little bit more details to the reason why they're upset. They're upset because Momo was built up in this chapter and last chapter as being someone that's very smart, someone that's able to, outthink people, come up with a new strategy on the fly, because she's always under pressure, she could come up with new things. And people are upset that she didn't have a clean sweep and wipe out Kendo. Even if it would have been closer, upset that, Momo didn't win. That's why they're really, really angry. However, you gotta remember from a perspective, Momo has always been weak in close-range combat. That's been her biggest weakness. She may be incredibly gifted and intelligent, and she may be able to come up on a dime with a plan and do things, create things, but it doesn't change the fact that she always has been on the weaker side when it comes to physical combat. When you think about her character and what was demonstrated in these past couple chapters, she is a leader. She is a good and natural gifted leader. But she is more of a leader that stands in the back like a general instead of being on the front lines. And that's kind of where I think this chapter is trying to show, or what this chapter was doing. It was showing that Kendo is also a born and natural leader, very similar to Momo. But Momo is the exact opposite of Kendo as a leader. Kendo is someone that's a leader that can go in, be a frontliner, and fight with her men. While someone like Momo, she would be in the back and supporting her men with different creations or any gadgets that she needs to make for them. That's what Momo is really good at. And so in this case, when Kendo got really close, there wasn't really much that Momo could actually do. Because even though she could come up with many different plans to fight against Kendo, she can't necessarily win in close fighting matches with someone that's physically stronger than her, especially someone like Kendo. It's definitely her weak area, especially since technically, she can't really cause too much harm to an individual. She's a hero. She can't put someone down and make it to where they can never get back up again. Yeah, so she was fearing for her life, she could, but the point is that since she's in training and she also has to be a hero, even if it's an evil villain, she can't technically kill the person. So she has to restrain them. So she can't just fire a loaded cannon right at their face and think that's good. I did good work today. She can't do that. If she was a villain, that would work out. What she did in this chapter, making a cannon, pointing at Kendo, that would have worked out if she was a villain. That would have been done. Said and done. You done. But because she's a hero, because of limitations, she cannot do that. So obviously, that's also a weakness that she has to realize, that because she's a hero, she can't do things like that. Now, I know some might say maybe she can make tranquilizing darts. Now, that's a possibility, but we gotta remember making certain complex things would be very hard. And we do need to take a moment to look at that, actually. Momo did something that was very impressive when she did fall in this chapter. She created a giant cannon, which she does make cannons quite a bit when you do think about it. I mean, you even see a dude, she likes cannons, eh? And I just really like that moment, because yeah, she really does like cannons. She really does. But she made a cannon, but not just making a cannon, she loaded it full of ammo. A bag that covered it, and full of stuff inside, like ethanol, and then also she had, infrared goggles that could actually see people in the middle of darkness. So it shows that Momo, she is very gifted. She can really think well and come up with plans on the fly, which is what was being showcased at the end of the last chapter, and what we've known about Momo's character. So nothing in this chapter went against what Momo has already been established as. I'm actually proud of her. I'm proud of her on her quick thinking. Launching those supplies over to Tokoyami, launching those supplies to, Toru. What she did technically was like, I'm giving the hopes of this operation to you. I can no longer carry on this operation. I'm done. It's GG for me, but I hope that you're able to do something and, gain ground and win this match between us and Class B. So Momo technically is like, I'm done. I'm captured. I'm dead or something, so you have it. It's up to you now. So Momo did a very smart play. It took a lot of guts to be able to do something like that, because once again, we got to look at this as if it was a real situation between heroes and villains. What Momo did was basically saying, I'm dead, and you guys must carry on without me. That's the crazy part about this. Now, it's also even more incredible, while she did the cannon stuff, she also created rope that was attached to her, so it couldn't easily, be removed probably, and she attached herself around Kendo where she couldn't move at all. Even though Kendo had one arm, she could do stuff, she was pretty much handicapped where she wouldn't be able to do much at all, because Momo was just pretty much attached to her with the cannon also attached to her. There was just nothing she really could do. She was basically carrying a giant freaking center block or a block or a ball, what you see in an old cartoon. That's what she was carrying around. So I really like how Momo thought about everything and did try to do what she could at the time. Obviously, she ran out of juice and she passed out, but she did a good job. So before people start complaining about Momo thinking she's useless or whatever, take a big look at what she did for her team and also what type of character she is. She's grown a lot. She's fantastic. It sucks she lost, but at the same time, what she did makes a lot of sense, and Kendo winning also makes a lot of sense when you look at the matchup. It was just a poor matchup for Momo, and that's what it really does come down to. So Aoyama incredibly disappointed with him. I'm incredibly disappointed with him and Toru, Invisible Girl. I'm angry with both of them. I'm disappointed and angry. Because, look, I know when it comes to Class A, they're nothing extraordinary. Like, yes, it's cool to see, Invisible Girl, fan service reasons, and just other things, funny little hijinks, but when you think of her quirk, it isn't anything too crazy compared to, like, what we see from Tokoyami, what we see from Momo, what we see from, Todoroki, what we see from Izuku. I mean, Izuku, when you look at his quirk, besides knowing that it's, one for all, his quirk is also very basic. So, I mean, when you think about everything, obviously Invisible Girl and Aoyama, their quirks are nothing to really write home about. And they are a part of Class A, and they definitely are around the weakest part. They have a lot of problems, a lot of weaknesses, and they definitely need to work on their flaws. And even though I love both characters, I love Aoyama, I love Toru, I love both of them. They're great characters, and I've loved the development that, Aoyama has gotten in, these recent arcs. He's definitely developed. Still, I will say that he failed pretty hard in this arc, or at least this match, because he technically was pretty much dead weight, and Toru was pretty much dead weight as well. They both had so many opportunities to do certain things to really help out, but they just did not utilize their quirks properly. I mean, think about it like this. If Aoyama and Toru would have worked together, they could have pretty much put down Kuro like it was nothing. Because, see, we know that Invisible Girl, she has light refraction. She can bend light and all that through her body. We've seen this. We know this. It's a part of her quirk. And if you factor in Aoyama and his light quirk, it easily could do stuff to really mess with the shadows and darkness, which could really affect the enemy team. Yes, it would affect Tokoyami, but it would really help out. They could have a lot of counters, signals to let everybody know what's going on. We've even seen Aoyama do this in the exam, when he was getting his license, that he does have potential to be a beacon to rally everybody around in a given area. And so when you see this, Aoyama failed big time. He definitely was weak in all areas, pretty much. His quirk isn't necessarily weak either. Yes, it has a lot of negative repercussions to his body, which we know of, but we know that his quirk can go through rock and stuff. It's powerful. It has a lot of penetration, so it's not weak. And Invisible Girl, why I'm disappointed with her is because, honestly, even though she might not have anything crazy like Tokoyami or Momo, her quirk is still very deadly, especially for someone that could easily get rid of people like that. See, with her quirk, since she's technically invisible, she can navigate all around like it's nothing, which the mushrooms, yes, the mushrooms were giving away her position, which I'm not blaming her for. That was just a counter to her. But she did remove the mushrooms, and in that moment, when the mushrooms were removed, she did not take out anyone. Like, she legit gave away her position to Manga, yelled to him, when she could have just snuck up on him and, did a chokehold, made him go unconscious, and that would have been the end of it. And then turned around, saw what was going on with Kendo, chokeholded her, because she obviously wouldn't know what's going on. Done. See, someone like Invisible Girl has a lot of potential to be like a stealthy assassin. Someone that has potential to easily get people out of a fight like that. She could sneak up on someone and end them very quickly, just knock them unconscious. But she did not utilize that. She was too loud, did not keep her silence. That's something that I noticed in this match. So, when I look at this from a very objective point of view, the people that costed Class A the fight was Aoyama and Invisible Girl. Tokoyami and Momo tried to hard carry, but they couldn't carry at all, because they had two useless people on their team that really couldn't do much at all. There is a lot of potential with them, but they need to learn from this match that they really need to pick up and understand that they need to learn close combat capabilities, and also how to utilize their quirk a lot better. Now, anyways, Class B, as I've already said, Mushroom Girl, she's broken, and I've already talked about that. It's crazy. Kuro, I've already talked about him, so I don't need to get back into him. Kendo, pretty much talked about her as well. She is someone that just has very strong hands. It's honestly just shows how much of a unit she is to be able to carry a cannon, Momo, and the rope attached to her like that. It's pretty freaking impressive. She is a freaking unit. But okay, besides all that, that's, I think, pretty much it, besides the next match, where, Tetsu and Todoroki is going to be going up against each other, and this is going to be kind of like a grudge match, because, Todoroki was being like a hype man for Momo. And since Momo was defeated and Tetsu was like, yeah, my girl Kendo won, I feel like he's going to get back at Tetsu and take him down, which I am looking forward to. Which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but Bakugo and Todoroki are on their own team. And if we're looking at everything also from another objective point of view, and we want to make it balanced for the final round, like with Shinzo versus Izuku, and obviously, Class A needs to lose another round to make it 2-2 for the final match. The 5th round will determine which class actually wins. So I feel like one of these two matches, upcoming matches, like, Todoroki's match or Bakugo's match, one of them are going to lose, which I'm very curious about. If I had to assume anything, I'm going to assume... I really don't know. I really don't actually know who would potentially lose. Maybe both of them will lose. Maybe both of them will win. I don't know. But I feel like there's going to be a loss. There's going to be an upset. Like, either Todoroki's going to lose or Bakugo's going to lose. And it's going to probably make a lot of fans a little bit salty. But I definitely see something like that happening. But that's about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, I love you guys. Chibi out.